SiGMA Startup Pitch. Today, unlike other conferences, we have two pitches going head to head. Okay, it's a fight to the death. No, I'm joking. It's a fight between two startup titans who are going to be judged by our very, very well selected cast of judges. And I will start off by announcing the first judge on stage, Mr. Charles Harrison. Thank you very much. Charles is followed by Garen Weitzman. Thanks for joining us again. Asal Alizadeh. Welcome back. Thank you. Brenton Nike. Welcome back, Brenton.
Always a pleasure.
Pleasure's ours. Sahir Karim. Welcome back. Sorry? That's a present. So, as I said, we have two companies going head-to-head for their pitches. They each have 5 minutes to pitch their idea, followed by questions from our cast of judges being 5 minutes as well. I just got the... So it's 6 minutes to pitch and 5 minutes of questions. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to invite the first company on stage. Put your hands together for Kasi Money. Welcome. Welcome on stage. All the best. When you give me your stamp of approval, I'll start your timer. Are you ready?
We're just speaking to you.
You can. Or can we bring him a microphone, maybe a handheld microphone?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. It's absolute. Oh, that's very nice. You can give that to me. Here you go. Thank you very much for your kindness, Brandon. Okay. So how do you feel? Do you feel like you're ready to take on the stage?
Let's try it.
The SiGMA crowd? Is the SiGMA crowd ready? All right. That's the way. It's all yours. Let the timer start.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Hi, judges. My name is Tami Hoza. I'm one of the co-founders of Kasi Money. And we are essentially a new digital banking platform for African gig workers. So our team has deep expertise in banking and payments. And we not only building products, but scaling them throughout the country and the continent. Gugu, our CEO, has built and worked in banking, building banking products for over 10 years for the likes of Standard Bank, Discovery, and Old Mutual, and leading teams there. I worked at one of the largest payments products and companies on the continent, Yoko, and was responsible for scaling it in informal markets and grew it to just under $100 billion of annual volume. And Avi, our CTO, is just a veteran in the blockchain banking space, leading teams for Citibank and their global delivery group for blockchain. But seeing and working within payments, we realized something quite disturbing about South Africa's banking landscape. In a country that purportedly has such great banking infrastructure, why is it that 80% of adults have bank accounts, yet close to 90% of all transactions are still in cash? That's a big problem in a country that is trying to essentially get more digitized. And what our core thesis is, banks are only really useful if you're a salaried worker. But for the majority of the population, 2 out of every 3 workers in the continent who don't have the same, who don't earn the same amount on the same day each month, banks are essentially just a store of money for them. They don't get lending, they don't get investments, they can't grow their money, no budget tools to essentially grow their money. And that's a problem. So what does this result in? It results in people getting paid. The moment they get paid, they take out all of their money and rather transact in cash to do all of these core utility services offline. And that's what we're trying to change. So we've built essentially a banking platform that's digital. Anyone can sign up with their passport, ID, or asylum document and get an account within 5 minutes. They get a MasterCard Fiat debit card that they can use for offline transactions, but they can also use it for online. We launched this in 2024 in April, and that's currently up and running. But as I mentioned, we're building utility into the platform. Financial tools that are tailored for unpredictable income. That is cash advances and loans, where we essentially give out advances based on your unpredictable income, auto investments of every single paycheck that you get, putting investments and growth on autopilot, together with leveraging crypto and blockchain for cheaper and faster remittances. We are the official banking partner for the largest ride-hailing platform in the country, and we're growing more and more to get to others. And if we look at the market opportunity, looking at just the platform that we have already, that is an opportunity worth about $30 million per year in annual revenues. If we get to every single person who is an unpredictable income earner in the country, that's about a $1.58 billion market that we are after. And that's just within South Africa. And as I mentioned, we launched in April 2024 and currently have deep usage. We have over 25,000 customers signed up, are currently adding 1,000 customers a week, and are looking to scale that. We have monthly deposits of just over $100,000, $109,000. But what's really interesting and what's great to us is that we have really great usage. People who come in, use us, and continue to use us more and more, with great retention and very little churn from people who are actually paying. And we make money in a number of different ways. But essentially, we charge a monthly fee for essentially using us, a subscription fee. We make money from volume-based transactions. We make money from interchange. And we also make money from loans, investments, and other products that we offer. On average, we make about $15 per average customer that we get. And yeah, we're raising our next seed round of about $2 million. That's just going to allow us to grow to about $2 million of annual revenues. That's Kasi Money. Thank you, judges. Thank you, everyone. Cool.
Hi.
Awesome.
Just some questions
Just a
about
moment
your
before,
goal.
Just before? Okay, because we need to be very, very, very fair over here and make sure that the timer is starting as soon as I got to go ahead. Matthew, how is it looking? A round of applause for Matthew, taking care of our AV team as well, working around the clock. What a guy.
So,
Okay,
first of
are
all,
we ready to go?
congratulations for your presentation, your company. Just quick question. What about your go-to-market strategy? Are you trying to create a community with your merchants? Are you trying to offer discounts and particular privilege to your customers? And what about the gaming integration inside your platform?
Yeah. So on the first part of around go-to-market, we mainly partner with gig platforms who essentially employ or pay some of these gig workers that we eventually want to bank. The first one that I mentioned is the largest ride-hailing platform in the country by number of drivers, and we're starting to get all the others. But you can think of delivery drivers, ride-hailing drivers, and the likes. That builds great trust for us, together with great, essentially, retention, because they're getting paid directly into our accounts. So that's the first part. On the second part is most of our customers actually use us to buy betting products and vouchers online. So we're one of the aggregators for one voucher that is used by different platforms, one of them which are here. And they're able to buy betting vouchers online. But the other great thing is that we have a partnership with Flash, which is one of the largest aggregators of value-added products on the country. They have over 220,000 retail stores, and we've essentially turned these plaza shops or retail stores into our ATMs. A customer can simply take their cash, go to this plaza shop, buy a voucher, and put it in as if they're buying airtime to deposit money into our account. So users are using this together with some of the earnings from the different betting platforms to deposit money into our account. Thank you.
Can I ask a question? Really interesting. Thank you for the pitch. I wanted to know. I see that you've mentioned you give bank accounts to the users. Is this a new bank, or where is the bank? Where is the jurisdiction? Do you have any restrictions in terms of the user base?
Yeah. So we work with a licensed bank in South Africa called Access Bank. We essentially are leveraging their license. We went into a partnership with them, and we also have an RPP license with MasterCard to issue out our debit cards. So it's mainly for South Africa, but we can use the same relationships to scale into Botswana, Tanzania, and 4 other markets on the continent.
So you're mainly targeting the African countries?
Yes, correct.
And do you know if there is any restriction in terms of which countries you can give services and which countries you can?
So as I mentioned, with the current partnerships, you can get to 5 other core markets outside of South Africa.
Got it.
But again, our ambitions are to really scale in the South African market. There's a 1.2 billion opportunity just at home, and we think we have a home advantage to go after it.
And also, if you can give some details about your funding rounds and what is the situation. I mean, who are your investors? How much are you raising? And this information would be useful.
Okay, awesome. We've raised about 400K so far. We've been very, very cash savvy, leveraging sort of scrappy and resources internally to do that. One of our investors is on the stage. But we have other local investors, and we're raising $2 million to just continue scaling and growing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. One of the things that was just crossing my mind, I mean, some of the questions that have been asked and the answers you've given are things that I had going through my mind as far as, both from a regulatory perspective as well as an expansion perspective. But the question that I have is what makes you different from any of the other payment processors or gateways that you can, buy vouchers through, that process payments? I'm just trying to understand I know there's a list here of sort of USPs.
Yeah.
But sitting here listening to it, I mean, I know other people who are doing this. What makes you different? What makes you investable in that sort of way?
Yeah.
What makes you the party who one wants to put the money into that's going to show a return?
Yeah, our core key thing is we are the store of money. So before money even leaves your account or your card, we hold it. And we are able to offer you essentially vouchers and services directly in platform. Similar to you buying vouchers from a Capitec, FNB if you're local, or whatever other bank account. We essentially replace your bank account or a new bank account that you can buy additional utility from.
25 seconds left on the clock. Do we have any other questions?
And also, can you tell us about the size of your community, existing community and user base?
Yeah, so about over 25,000. We're growing that about 1,000 users a week and trying to scale that. We're hoping in the next 3 months we can add about 5,000 users a week.
Amazing, thank you.
Awesome.
I like how you waited for the ding. Thank you so much. Cassie Money, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you so much. Another round of applause, please. So up next, we have Sportivo. A warm welcome to Sportivo, ladies and gentlemen. We can do much better than that. Welcome on stage. Welcome on stage. Are you ready?
No.
Let's make a test.
Hi, can everybody hear me?
Fantastic. Can we start this timer? Oh, you have a clicker over here, by the way.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bart Jongsma. I'm founder of Sportivo, and together with Jan Fayan, we started this company in 2018. We realized that there's a gap in the market. All technology is going to professionals, goes to people that have cash, and we realized there's an amateur market that also wants to improve their sport, and so we started with Sportivo as a concept. I'm going to read here because I can't read that. And so our mission is to professionalize amateur sport and also performance analysis. So we do video analysis, bringing together leagues, tournament management, etc. And we put it into all-in-one platform. Our vision is to level the playing field, give all players, regardless of their ability or background or monetary terms, the potential to unlock their full potential. The growth in sport tech is good. This is an old slide. It's about 20% on a annual growth rate. And as you can see, from 2023 to 2025, we're going from 20 to 50 billion. Capgemini made a study, and this is what we're now doing live at some of the amateur sports venues, is people want to see player information live. They want to see stats live. They want to see shots, generated on smartphones and at fan zones. And we're targeting university colleges and schools. The pain points are mostly common. So it's constraints, it's communications, it's registration, collecting results, updating log standards, WhatsApp groups, you get spammed, fee collections. And our solution actually connects the administrators, sport administrators, so they can manage their sport, their players, their members, and the actual parents and players who want to get insight in their performance and also be able to evolve into a better sports person. Our growth over the last 2 years, so we actually started in 2018. We obviously lost 2.5 years in COVID because no sport happened, but we really started growing significantly in the last 2 years. So our team growth is over 740%. If you look at our tournaments, that doubled by 100%. Our matches went by 20%, and then our user base grew by 45%. And there's always a lag between signing up leagues and tournaments, and from a user base perspective. Our growth strategy is we go out to league and tournaments, we sign them up. All the schools and universities and clubs, they come to these tournaments, so we get their contact details, we upsell to them, and we're starting to gain a good traction around the user base. Sponsors and advertisers have really started to take note of us. We have over 10,000 coaches and managers in South Africa on our books that they want to sell to, and soon we're going to be bringing out a freemium version which is going to upsell premium features like insights. This is our forecast in revenue. So you can see there's a significant growth. The orange items are the big ticket items for us. So if you look at school signups in 2030, that relates to 1,000 schools. Now, considering there's 27,000 schools in this country, 1,000 is an achievable target. Same for tournaments. There's 10 million there. That relates to 2,000 tournaments. There's far more than that. And then advertising is also a big revenue driver. This is just to show you on the left-hand side, the graph, the difference between subscription and advertising revenue. So our subscription is still a big revenue driver. If you look at the actual cash flow forecast, the blue line is our forecast in revenue, but the net cash flow is the red line. We need investment to grow. The only reason we're not growing faster is because we are cash-strapped, and we've been bootstrapping this company. So the actual investment rationale, we need 14 million in cash for 10% shares of the company, and the potential growth for investor is, that's also an old slide, is 6x on a 5-year return and 12x on a 10-year return. The reason we're not growing faster is because we need more money for cash and sales, and then also development. We have a very good retention rate. Everybody that's used us before for tournaments or leagues, they've all returned. So it's a great retention rate. And we got great feedback. Our customers love our product. We enhance their tournaments. We enhance their leagues. We enhance their sport management. And we're solving a problem. Thank you. That is my pitch.
Thank you very, very much for that pitch. Now we have time for our judges to ask a few questions. When the judges are ready, we'll start the timer. Judges? All right, let's go.
I just want to find out, you said you guys need to raise some capital. How much have you raised to date? How much you guys spent on the platform thus far?
This is our first round. We've been bootstrapping this company. It's been funded by myself and Jan thus far.
All right. And well done on what you guys have achieved. One more question. Is there any specific narrative or sport you guys are focusing on? Because it seems quite broad in the description. It seems like, or is the focus just schools and entities? Or is it a particular sport? What's the direction for?
It's all team sports at the moment. So it's, football, hockey, rugby, basketball. It's all the team sport. We don't do individual sports just yet. But yeah, it's a general platform that you can run all your sports on.
Perfect. I mean, just to clarify, based on the freemium and the upsell model, it seems like it's more of a traditional SaaS revenue model. So you would charge the tournament or the team a specific monthly fee to utilize the software stack. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. It's a SaaS type model, yes.
Brilliant. What's kind of the average fee that you guys charge for tournaments?
For school, we charge about 2,000 Rand a month, depending on the size of the school. So if that's like 1,000, 1,200 kids upwards. For tournaments, around about 2,000 Rand a tournament or event.
Perfect. And then last quick question from me. Can you walk us through I'm trying to understand this from a mode perspective or proprietary tech, what the data capture process looks like. Are you guys utilizing like an open source machine learning sort of video model that's able to categorize, oh, this is a shot on target, this is, a goal in hockey? What does that data capture process actually look like?
So currently, it's all manual. So we're building the Uber of coding. So we're employing people to be able to go online and code games for people. But we already have our tech guys looking at, using AI to be able to identify a dribble, to be able to identify turnover, and so we can automate that process using AI.
Perfect, brilliant, thank you. I mean, I don't want to hog the mic, so I'll hand over to the rest.
Amazing. Thank you so much. It's an interesting sector. We actually have a similar project in our portfolio. I just want to know, what is your USP? What do you think differentiates you from others?
A lot of our competitions either do just tournaments, or they do sports management, or they do video analysis, and we're bringing that together in one platform. So it makes it like a one-stop shop for that. And it also, a lot of them are more, so like especially when you're video analysis, they're a lot more expensive. It's not affordable for the normal crowd. So we're making it affordable that everybody can get that kind of stats.
And how does your incentivizing model works? Like, is there any incentive for the users for staying on the platform?
So no, not yet, but so we've really got our base platform working well, and it's working well for leagues, but now it's about how do we keep people on the platform? How do we gamify it? How do we tokenize it? And we have actually got some companies that are interested in measuring the athletic ability of all schools in the country. So that and that will help us with that.
Amazing, thank you.
So just one question. What about this so high valuation? Why you have this valuation so high? Convince us to invest in your company, please.
At the moment, I mean, if you look at the numbers and you look at the forecast, we use a annual recurring revenue compound, and if you look at the average for a sports tech company, it is between 8 and 12x of the annual recurring revenue, and that's how we based on the valuation.
Okay. Just another question. What about the average age of your consumer at the moment?
Average age of our consumer is actually parents, so it's actually between 35 and 50.
And did you think about some integration with iGaming in terms of sponsorship or things like that?
For sure, yeah. So we're getting into esports now. So we already have esports on our platform, but more from an administrator, from a log, from a stats perspective, and then obviously iGaming would be good value.
As we have 25 seconds, are you happy to give us 90% discount if we invest small amount of money in your company?
Well, we can always negotiate.
And do you know the current average user acquisition cost per user?
No, it's more driven from our consumers. So once the schools or the leagues or whatever sign up, then it's how do we get them on the platform and stay on longer. So I don't have a calculated average rate.
Thank you very, very much, Sportivo. I'm going to have to cut this short to respect the times. Thank you very, very much for being on stage and pitching your idea. Thank you so much. So, here you go, Matthew. Here are my votes as well. Can I have my clipboard, please? 6-5. Okay, now I'm curious. We're going to be counting the votes now to determine who's the winner of the starter pitch of the Africa Show 2025. But before we announce the winner, I'm just curious to get some insights from our judges, some comments on what they felt went well, what could have gone better, and maybe some education for the future pitches that we'll have during our conference. I'd like to start off with Asal Alizadeh. Asal, what do you think?
I think it was a nice one. I mean, unfortunately, in most of these startup competitions, we see that projects are really from different sectors. It's a bit difficult. It's, you know, comparing apples and oranges. But I'm happy that I met these two projects. They're so similar to the narratives we have invested in already. So yeah, really looking forward to see where they're going, and also considering that they are more focused on this region. I think this is interesting.
Did that put you in a challenge to cast your vote?
Exactly, yes.
Okay. So it was very well chosen, I would say. Okay.
Sure.
Let's jump on to Brandon. Brandon, please, give me some insights.
Perfect. No, very impressive pitches, I think, from both startups. Some slight, if I have to give some constructive criticism, I think specifically on Sportivo, just generally, I think two things. Understanding your investor audience and like kind of understanding from an investor perspective, what are the returns we need to underwrite to be able to invest in a project. So one, maybe dollarizing the amount would make it appeal to a wider audience. You know, if I'm if I'm investing dollars and I open something and I see Kenyan shillings, it kind of already throws me off a little bit. So I think appealing to a wider audience there. And then two, just understanding, I think a little bit more optimistically, put really strong growth assumptions that you can underwrite. So the average VC, for example, I mean, if you're early stage, just to make the math make sense from us as a portfolio construction, you know, we need to be underwriting kind of a 20x plus return. So really, you know, put the assumptions there as if you're shooting out the lights. We want to know if we underwrite this business, we could see 30x return, 40x return, if we're investing at the pre-seed or the seed or pre-series A stage. So just understand kind of the return that your audience needs to underwrite to invest in the business as well. Thank you.
I couldn't agree more. Very good insight, Brandon. Charles, I'll jump on to you.
So my suggestion is, first of all, try in the first 20 seconds to be very clear about your business model. Use some kind of a statement where you clarify what's your goal, what's your unique proposition. That's so important. And then when you make this pitch, it's very important that you know very well your number and you show your number to your audience. And this number, as you say, is better if it's in dollars, because people like us maybe lose a bit of time to make a conversion on the local money that is 20 times less than euro. So, but everything was very nice today. So thanks to invite us, and
Super.
amazing.
And I hope you get your 90% discount from Sportivo. This is something that maybe will be discussed at a later stage. Please, I'd like Sahir to give me his insights as well. Please.
Yeah, I was going to comment on the same thing. Whenever I hear someone, we're looking for a certain amount of money at a certain valuation, you need to work backwards and give me all the data. Okay, this is the customer acquisition cost. This is how much we're making. Give me a picture of how I'm going to get my money back. And everything else was fine. I think in terms of Sportivo, information was a bit too general. Also in terms of like the sporting, I don't really understand the business model totally from that perspective. That's why I asked about, is it one sport? Just a bit of clarity, but both projects really cool, very good pitches. Well done.
Fantastic. Garen, you're next.
Look, I mean, I like both and come across very well. I don't look at it necessarily from the same perspective as guys that are in VC funds. I mean, I'm involved with VC funds and that, but I'm not, a venture capitalist. I mean, for me, it's about that USP. And one's got to come out like really strong right up front. This is our USP. I mean, on the Sportiva side, I can't help but think that perhaps individual player performance is something that really needs to be focused on. I don't know, particularly as you're looking to kind of call it professionalize amateur sport. The team's performance and that great, but I think the excitement sort of lies in the competition on the individuals. But I think that in time and from how to monetize it and everything, I suppose it is scalable on an international basis, which is something one would always need to look at, and you're involved with something similar. So there's a desire, or there's a need for it, or a desire for it. On the payment side, that what confused me a little bit was, and that's why I asked the question I did, is kind of, are you saying you're a bank or are you a payment processor? And I think the message for me wasn't entirely clear, because it was kind of both, but connected to a bank. But you don't have a banking license, but you're sort of relying. So not to say there's anything wrong, and I think, great payment processing or gateways or multimodal manners of getting involved in different money processing or voucher processing or crypto, whatever, great. And the more you make out of that, the better. But it wasn't quite clear to me what the vision was as to this is what we are. Because you're not a bank and you're not a processor, so then it means you're nothing, or kind of part of both. And I think that it's just a question of coming up with a very strong message as to this is who we are, this is what we're about, this is how we make money.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your insight. I see a lot of very, very strong key points, which I hope everybody has somehow registered for future pitches. I'm very thankful for SiGMA for putting together this cast of judges. Please, let's hear it for our judges today. Thank you very, very much for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us on stage today. The excitement is not over, though, because I have in front of me the winner of this year's Starter Pitch Africa 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to put your hands together for Kasi Money. Congratulations to Kasi Money. Well done, well done. Do you have a few words you'd like to say? I'm guessing, yes. The stage is yours one more time. Go for it.
Please sign up. If you take an Uber, tell the Uber driver to sign up. Thank you.
Well done, Kasimani. I'd like to actually keep you over here because we should have a picture. I'd like you to show off your award. The judges are super proud of you, so please, this is your moment.